Hey, Dmitry, Bram here from Drum Tuner Easy and Drum Tuner Pro. As promised, I was going to show you how to tune that 10-inch tom with the Drum Tuner Easy, in the hope we can clarify some things. This is tuned to about 160-ish hertz, 158, something like that. It's completely out of tune, and I just took it from the corridor like this. Now, if you check it, first of all, I want to tell you, like, if you're going to check the fundamental tone of the drum, then of course you can also detect the lug pitches, which are higher. But if the fundamental tone is quite resonant, sometimes when you hit near a lug, maybe the case like here, that you pick up the fundamental tone again. Now, what you should do in that case is two things. You can do two things. Either you press set target on a lug pitch, which you pick in a random lug, and this one was 30 hertz higher, so you can see it's still detecting that one. And now here, before it was detecting the fundamental tone, but now it will also detect that lug pitch, as you can see. So basically those two lugs, they're opposing lugs, they're higher. That's often the case, that when something's off in one lug, very often the opposite side is also off in a similar way. Especially when you notice large differences. As soon as we're talking about differences of 1 or 2 hertz, that might not be the case anymore. And also not when you are tuning a snare drum and when you are tuning the resonant side, where are the indents for the snare bed. That's also normal that the lug pitches are different. Now, so the first thing you could do, so here, that's the fundamental tone. Apparently, this one picks up the fundamental tone. First thing to do, detect the lug pitch where you see it. Press set, and then you're also good for that. That's one method. Now, the other method you could do is actually placing the drum on a flat surface. So when the drum is at the table, yeah, you can still see it, right? When the drum is at the table, could you see what I was doing? Let me bring it closer and then take another zoom. Okay, so now we cannot detect the fundamental tone anymore, as you can see. So when you hit near the lugs, now you get the right lug pitches, and that's still in standard mode. In high mode, it would perform the same in this case. So in high mode, as you can see. Now let me demonstrate the case of before again, when the drum is off. Just to, like, when the drum is off the table and back on the stand. I'm gonna show this with TuneBots, so you get a little bit of confidence in the app, because the fact that it happens is just because the fundamental tone is prominently present. And probably the TuneBots are going to detect it too. Back to standard mode, okay. So that's a fundamental tone. That's the lug pitch, and already this TuneBot, who's actually next to it, the new one, in this case, didn't pick up the right lug pitch. It detected the fundamental tone. Oh, it can't. 230. Now, none of them could detect this lug pitch. They detected the fundamental tone. Here, we all suffer from the same issue, right? Here too, That one picked it up because it's opposite. Here we go, all wrong. All right, now the power of Drum Tune Pro. So this TuneBot is actually picking up that lug and can't read this one. And they're rounding. As you can see, it's 202. My app was detecting it all the time, right? Just to show you that if you press set target, you'll be able to detect those tones everywhere correctly. Another trick you could do is, but it's a bit hard and it's a bit annoying as well, is just place your pinky or anything else a bit in the center and then hit, and you'll get that lug pitch reading because you mute the center of the head a bit. That way it can't resonate the fundamental tone. That could be a quick in-between thing you do. But really the most simple thing when you don't want to lift the drum from the stand is just detect the lug pitch of the lug and press target there. So you've seen those TuneBots having the same issues. Just to explain that it's not because it's a bad app, it's just because the fundamental tone is prominently present in the sound, so that it actually overclasses the lug pitch in loudness, in presence. Okay, so you want to tune the top head to, I believe it was 210, and the resonant head to 275, right? So let me already do that. We know from the checkup that those were already higher. So let's bring up those 4 a bit first. And again. And measure it again. Right, we are at 290 because 177 will be the new fundamental tone, as you see. 278. So I'm gonna take this lug pitch, and I think I need to tune down. Everything's gonna be already a bit too high. So at the moment, this is the lowest one. I'm first gonna bring it up a bit. Wait, I've got my snare drum here and it's resonating the wires, so place it on this pillow. Alright, so let's bring everything down a bit. I tune down a bit and I turn back up slightly. Let's see where we're at. It's quite well cleared now, but too low. It's cleared now at 262. So let's just bring it up now. To refresh. Set. Okay. So these are too low now. Bring those up. These two, I'm gonna leave those at the spots where they are. Let's check the new fundamental tone. It's gonna rise again. Okay, lug pitch. That's that. 264, 277, 263. So these two are already there. So I'm gonna bring them down a bit because all those are too low and they are gonna rise So if we first turn these down a bit and then make those rise, they'll meet up somewhere in the middle because the tension really divides. That's right. That's a fundamental tone. Let's try to get a lug pitch. At the moment, I'm not gonna get the lug pitch anywhere. So, because I don't want to take it off the table, I'm just gonna mute it with my pinky. Press set down. So now I have a lug pitch. And now I can start fine tuning a bit up. Down here, a bit up. Now I'm just clearing to the numbers you told me, right? I find maybe for this head, those are not the best sounds, but still, so far, it's singing quite well. This is gonna be too high slightly. So when I'm within 1 hertz, I'll just leave it there. We're getting there. Every time you tune something down, the rest is going to get a bit off as well. So, here we are. Everything is cleared at 275, and it isn't even... You really hear that already. Now, the opposite head you want to tune to 210, right? So, let's try to figure out the lug pitch here. 315 it is. It's gonna be quite high, that head. So yeah, it is. So I'm going to tune it down a lot. It was for months on that tension. So because it was just sitting in the corridor, my 10-inch drum. So it's gonna take a while for the synthetic material to get back to a consistent, yeah, it's just going to adjust, the polymers are going to adjust to the new strain, and it's gonna detune for a bit, but yeah. So I think the lug pitch is 171 here. Let's place it on the table and check it out. Alright, so let's bring it up to 210. If you wish, we can do it on the table, we can do it on the stand. Doesn't really matter that much. Gonna give it a bit more tension again. I'm just tuning to your values. I really don't know whether this is going to be a good sound for this drum, but it will be in a tensioning range, which is good for, that's an overtone. You see that 308 hertz, that's a higher order overtone that was interfering. If that happens, just take a lug pitch somewhere, and it won't happen again when you press set target. So I'm going to bring that one down. First, we're clearing the head now, right? We're trying to get an even tension out of it. This is the lug pitch we want. So I'm gonna take it, press set target. So now we're going to tune to 210. first scan it a bit to check where are the largest differences, and then fine tune the head. I'm gonna do it back on the stand because it's not so comfortable from the position where I'm standing with the camera stand in between my legs as well. Okay. You can hear how the drum starts to resonate properly and with the sustaining sound, you know. So it keeps on ringing. And there is quite a good, there's a slight wobble, but it's very slow. So that means both heads are syncing properly. Just after the decay, there's a moment where there's some wobble in the decaying sound. We're there. So just fine tuning to that last hertz. It's gonna be difficult. Because the tension is redividing and it's quite sensitive. So when you have a re-trigger, that's because it's not re-triggering on the impact, but on the singing that it hears. Okay, I'm gonna feel like this is it. This is the point where it's good enough. Because chasing my tail here, getting that last hertz right is going to be difficult. Okay, so this is the sound I tuned to your tuning. And indeed, it's a nice, stable, warm tom sound. I also like it. Now the fundamental tone, if you hit harder, it will be slightly higher. Better head might be just for my needs slightly too slack at the moment, but it's also an old head. It isn't as responsive anymore, or not as fresh. And of course, with this fiber skin at the bottom, that gives a special color to the timbre. But usually it's quite warming to the sound, I find. Now, what does the tunebot say? What do they say? Yeah, at some points they couldn't pick up the luck pitches, but it's the same tuning. Same fundamental tone, of course, luck pitch. Yeah, so here we go. So as you can see, it's very consistent, and that's how I do it. That's how it works. Tuning a drum is of course much faster if you don't want to head for specific frequencies, right? So now we really took time to match a specific frequency, while if you know how to tune a drum, you might just, you know, like tension the heads up until you have a good sound. And then when it feels right, you just check a luck pitch, press a target and clear the head at that luck pitch. So that way you fine tune the drum, but yeah, you first researched the right, you know, amount of tension you had to put on each head to find a good sound, you know. So that's also a way to do it, just randomly do it on feel, listen to what you get, and then use the app to clear the heads to a certain lug pitch so that it's well equalized at both sides. Yeah, that's about it. Any questions, just shoot. Thanks.